Welcome back to Mcoc Al Bundy Rules. So I got a video for you today. Something for those of you who are at earlier stages of the game. Maybe you're brand new, fairly new, been playing for a little bit, but having a little hard time progressing. This video is really designed for those under Uncollected, trying to make their way up through Uncollected, or maybe even at Uncollected, but still working their way up along the way. So I'm going to be covering fairly basic tips. Really 10 tips is what I'll be focusing on. That's going to help you progress. Very good tips that the earlier you learn them in the game, the better it is going to be for you. Starting off with tip number one. Be careful where you use those units. Up on the top right, you see these units right up on over here. These units are hard to get. This is how the game stays in business, how they try to get to make money. They try to sell you unit related items. They try to get you to buy units. You see all these different deals along the way, and you will see unit deals way over here. They are pretty expensive. Do not waste these units. Do not waste them. When I say do not waste them, you do not want to use them. You see, it takes quite a lot to get them. You can get them throughout the game without purchasing anything. It takes a little bit longer, but the worst thing to spend them on, in mine and many people's opinion, are going to be these PHC. You look at these premium hero crystals early in the game, you're trying to build your roster, you look at the chance of getting a 4-star champ, which at the time sounds great. Well, guess what? Please look at the drop rates. Always look at the drop rates before you spend units or money on crystals, otherwise you're going to get upset. The chance of getting a 4-star hero is 2.4%, or a 4-star next is 0.6%, meaning 3% chance to get a 4-star champion. Okay, only 3% chance. 77% chance to get a 2-star. So often I see people get upset they wasted all their units or money on PHC and only got 2 stars, maybe a 3-star champ. Well, guess what? These odds, always look at the ratios. So do not waste your units on, your hard-earned units on these crystals. Use them on masteries. Masteries are going to help you get further in the game. I have some videos on masteries. You can look a lot of different videos and guides out there, but masteries cost in order to unlock them. You will see items that you will need to unlock masteries along the way. Some of these cost quite a bit to unlock them. As we will see items in this specific example, you will see these items are needed from the Carbium masteries to the core. Stony Core Mastery. So Stony Core costs over 100 units each. The Carbonadium, however you pronounce that, the Carb Masteries cost over 500, I think it's 550 each. They take a lot. A lot of these masteries are going to cost them along the way. So instead of wasting those units on PHC to most likely get 2 stars, start saving up early to unlock those masteries. So that is a very good tip number one. Number 2 for you. Tip number 2. Join an alliance. Your growth will be drastically slower without an alliance. You might say, well, hey, I'm not that active. I don't play that often. I don't really like AQ, alliance quests. I might not like alliance war. I might not like events. That's fine. There is a little something for everyone out there. Find an alliance that best fits you. For me, my alliance, you might say, hey, Al Bundy Rules. Why are you that high in the Gold 3 alliance? I get that all the time. The answer to that is I despise Alliance War, as most of you who watch this channel know. So I play in a 1 battle group optional AW alliance. Only doing 1 battle group optional super casual AW keeps us in the Gold 2 to Gold 3 range, which I'm perfectly fine with because I don't care about that. I don't mind a couple, but it's optional. That fits me. We're also fairly casual on Alliance Quest. We get the map 5, but we don't have to do donations, but we do high prestige in order to get good rewards for minimal effort. And if you want to know about prestige, don't worry, I'm going to talk about that in one of my upcoming tips as well, as it really matters for higher ranking alliances along the way. Find an alliance that best fits you. Don't try to find, I see it all the time, new players say, hey, Platinum Alliance, hey, Masters Alliance, let me in. They're not going to let you in, okay? Because it's going to hurt the entire alliance. Find one around your level, around where you fit in, and that's what's going to be best for you. Some different ways to find alliance. You can click over here on the little item, the little magnifying glass, and that can give you some recommendations kind of based on where you're at. So these are recommendations that would come up for me. Keep in mind you will see the open. So these are ones I can just join. Just because it's open, if you try to join a really high one, because they left it open, you might get booted. Keep that in mind. They might have opened it for a different reason. So be careful. Talk to them first is what I recommend. Make sure you're good to go to get in. Research. I don't really recommend joining random alliances because if you do, you might find one yourself in one that doesn't match up to how you play the game, and then it's going to lead to either you getting frustrated, leaving, getting booted, something like that. Find the alliance that best fits for you. There's a lot of alliance recruiting on global. Not always the best place, but you will find quite a few. You will find it on forums, Mcoc forums. I recommend checking there. You will find recruiting groups online, on Facebook, on Reddit. There are lots of places to find alliances. Find one that best fits you. How high they push or not in alliance quest, how high they push or not in alliance war, how often they expect you to be. Research the alliance before you join. Otherwise, you might find yourself in an unsatisfactory predicament, such as maybe getting booted a couple days before alliance war rewards come in, or in the middle of an AQ, meaning you can lose rewards. So find one that best fits you. If you're not overly active, just find one that's more semi-retired, or retired alliance as they call it. That way you're at least getting some kind of reward. Moving on to tip number 3, which is do arenas, these multiverse arenas. Do them a little bit as much as you can. There's many different reasons for them, but those who progress in the game the quickest, excluding the massive, well, even them to some regards, are those who do a decent amount of arena. The more you do, the build is one of the, if not the only resource area in the game where you can just kind of build unlimited resources, to include one of the most valuable ones, units. Of course, there is some RNG involved in the units, but we will see different multiverse arenas here. I don't recommend wasting your time on 1v1 quick match, and no, for newer players, they are not live. You beat someone, you don't beat them, you beat the AI. 100% of fights in the game are AI. Nothing's really good comes from one. I recommend ignoring those. Do the 3-for-3 ones. You can do the Summoner Trials, you can do Odin Force, you can do Flying High Arena. Especially these later ones, if you have enough champs to sustain in there, you can get some pretty good rewards along the way. Those milestone rewards, you will see as you progress, the more you get. You will see units along the way. You will see Grandmaster Crystal Shards, which could lead from 3 to 5 star champions. You will see these battle chips, which you also get in the fights, and gold. This is a great place to get units, to get battle chips, and to get gold. Even some champions along the way. You can easily get several hundred units per week by doing arena, not even including from the battle chips. So I heavily recommend doing that. I recommend especially the 3-3 for these ones with the 4 to 6 star champs if you can, but even the lower champions are good, as well as the bonus one, the extra ones like the Catalyst class I do not recommend, but the ones for Alpha 1 or the T4 can be very good to help you get those. Again, these help you get the battle chips, which you can take the battle chips and use them in the crystal store to get items, which you have a decent chance at units. You'll pop enough of them, open up enough of them, you're going to get some units a decent amount of the time. Depends on RNG, but you can get many more units from there, if not gold. But that is going to give you items you need that help you progress. So do tip number 4, don't rush content. Okay, I see people all the time say, I'm stuck on Act 4, I'm stuck on Act 5, I just wasted 600 units on boss so-and-so. Don't. Okay, use those units for your masteries, as I said on an earlier tip. My recommendation on content, first of all, you want to focus as much as you can on story mode to build yourself up based on titles. Once you beat 5 2, Act 5, Chapter 2, you get Uncollected, get better rewards. Once you beat Act 6-1, you get Cavalier, get better rewards. So that is really what you want to strive towards. So at least completion. What I generally recommend, people start having a harder time Act 4 a little bit, mostly Act 5, because the nodes get a little trickier. So pay attention to the nodes. My recommendation is once you get to the point where the content's getting hard, you're using too many items, or finding yourself using units on content, stop. Just stop. Go back and explore and help build up along the way. You can explore by building up on earlier content to get exploration rewards, or you can go over to the event quests and do the event quest items where you can get different rewards as well. Do whatever difficulty you can. Again, I don't recommend wasting items or units on the event quest. Do the level you can do at the highest level, and those below it you can get units and other items to help you build up, but do not force content that is too quick for you. Develop your skills through arena, through the different content, as you build your roster through exploration before rushing content. On tip number 5, pay attention to and focus on the events. So you will see the event tab right over in the bottom right area. So that check mark, you click on that. You will see the Alliance events and the Solo events tab. Keep in mind solo events. A good idea is you see level up. Save your items, save your level ups for when the level up event is there. As a good example, there's 22-hour events. They rotate. Wait for them, time them. So for level up events, you will see these rewards you get, and they can add up. You see these different items. That's the rank rewards, but for the milestones, you will see gold, you will see the solo crystal shards, you'll see ISO, you will see gold crystals, some rank up materials, revives, even units along the way. Of course, some of these will change based on your highest title of completion, so keep that in mind. Another reason why you want to work on completing content at your pace. Once you can claim rank rewards, you can get these based on your percentage along the way, so additional items. I recommend timing things around these 22-hour events. So I'll save all the level ups for the level up events. If you see the events for completion or for fighting, you can do a more arena on those days. So kind of time it around with the level up events is what I recommend along the way. Those 22-hour events can get you those revives and units very easily, so pay attention to them, take advantage of them. Those alliance events, again, another reason why you want to be an alliance and active, make sure you contribute. You will see that red triangle on Perfect Series. That shows I haven't contributed yet, which means I'm not eligible for the rewards. Meaning at some point within the next 21 hours and 42 minutes, the timer there, I'll do at least one set of arena 3 versus 3 so I can at least qualify. Again, making sure you're in an alliance. Preferably when that's active, and then you could get those rewards. You want to make sure you're eligible for them. When you see item use, for example, even if you use only one item, you will become eligible. So pay attention on those items. Number 6, you will hear people talk about tier lists. You will talk about their tier ranking. Oh, the God tier, demi-god tier, beyond god tier, meme tier, whatever. You hear all kinds of that stuff all the time in the game. You can look at it. You can use it as a basic guide, especially if you kind of get an idea. Keep in mind, those are subjective lists, and each list is created by one person. That's their opinion. I am a firm, strong believer. No one person can know 100% about every champ in the game. There's too much, especially any champ made within the past few years that have descriptions like encyclopedia long practically. Take them with a grain of salt, okay? Be careful with them, how in depth you go into. Too often people say, oh, why did you rank so-and-so? I'm showing you some of my rank ups. People will say, oh, so-and-so's not above, beyond God. What does that even mean, by the way? Who named some of these tiers? They're subjective opinions. They vary based on a multitude of circumstances, from masteries, from synergies, multiple things. You will see, for example, Cable by himself ain't very good, but you throw in an Mcoc synergy, not even the pre-fight, he becomes one of the top damage dealers in the game, so it can change. You're looking at circumstance, so one could quickly say, yeah, Cable is amazing, but wait a minute, do you have a 5-star or above? Mcoc is something you have to ask. People rarely ask the correct questions. You will have a champ maybe like Void. Okay, is he great? Is he worth the rank up? Yeah, most people are going to say yes. However, did we ask, is he awoke? What is his signature ability? What is his level? Because those make a big difference. You will see I have many champs in my top that are not in the top elite tier. One, because I don't because that is one person's opinion. My opinion is more than able to go ahead and be different than others. Play them, figure out who you like, and have a basic idea. Check some videos, learn how to use them. Don't judge a champion too quickly before you learn how to use them. Watch some tutorials. I know I do champ tutorial playlists to help people get familiar with them. See who you like. And people say, oh, wait for so-and-so. It could be years. There are still champs I've been waiting literally for 5 years to get. I have not pulled yet. I cannot guarantee, no, can you guarantee you will get those champs? So keep that in mind. So again, tier list is a basic baby guide at the most, at the absolute most. Try them, learn how to use them. Different champs, not all champs are just blind 5-hit combos and that's that. Some require some different style. Learn how to use them, see who you like, rank up who you like. Tip number 7 piggybacks on an earlier tip about an alliance. I highly recommend when you're looking for an alliance, find one that does AQ, alliance quest. Sure, it gets a little repetitive. However, as long as you're logging in daily, that is somewhere, probably a couple times a day, somewhere you can get resources. Even if you're casual, at least do some kind of alliance quest. Make sure you contribute so you get the rewards. You can get very good rewards in alliance quest. It's the easiest way to get the resources you need to build up quickly. On my mini account, I was getting R5 5 stars at like level 30 something, I think, or 40. And R2 6 stars, like in the late level 30s or early 40s, all over the place, without even being active, without even beating story content mostly. Why? Because of alliance quests. As long as you're doing alliance quests, you get rewards. You will see peak milestones. The big thing are these glory are super helpful. You want to get your glory, so find an alliance that is as active or competes as high as you are comfortable with based on your play level, and this will get you the glory. You get those other crystals too for rank up rewards, but the glory is the sweet spot because you take those glory, you bring them over to the store, and then you can use them over here to get good rank up items. Keep in mind, this will change based on your level, so not all of you will have the stuff you see, but it's going to help you grow. But things like tier 4 basics, as you progress tier 5 to even tier 5 class catalyst, T2A are some items, but you see tier 3 catalyst. You see a variety of items for different levels of stages in the game along the way, including potions for alliance, tier 4 class catalyst, T1A, golden crystals, a lot of items here. So do as high level as you can of alliance quest. AQ, map 5 and under costs no resources, they're free. If you do higher levels for more rewards, they're going to cost you a little bit of resources to play in them. Tip number 8, you will hear people tell you, oh, your rating's too low, oh, you're not good, your PI is low, your prestige, something like that. If you're watching this video, it is highly likely those numbers are even remotely close to being relevant for you. First of all, the PI or rating is what's going to be on your power index number. Keep in mind, your power index number is not going to be very relevant. So my PI for my total base hero rating will see 2.1 million right there. And then you will see numbers for your PI for your ratings. The numbers you will see here between my Gambit and Angela and Guardian and Black Widow Deadly Origins, those numbers go up based on masteries. That is going to be the PI. The PI is the rating including mastery. Some masteries have higher PI, but please understand, PI is pretty much useless, has very little to no real meaning in the game. So when people start talking about your rating or PI, they probably don't know what they're talking about. They're criticizing. Has very little to no mean on anything. The only number of those that has a little bit of mean is going to be prestige. We will see here my prestige is 13,003. This only has a real purpose for alliance quest. The only thing this has anything to do with is alliance quest. The higher the alliance prestige is, the harder it is, and the better points you can get for better rewards in AQ. Keep that in mind. That's a big reason why a higher up alliance isn't going to allow a low prestige player in, because it's going to hurt the entire alliance's reward. So keep that in mind if you're trying to get an alliance higher than what you should be in. And if you somehow did get in, you're probably going to be one of the first ones booted, as fair warning. So you want to keep something in line with where your prestige is at. At early levels in the game, if you're still under Uncollected, even a Cavalier, highly unlikely are you going to be in an alliance that's going to be too focused on prestige. And if they are, their focus might be in the wrong area. It should be about getting completed at those stages. So don't worry about prestige at your level of the game, unless you're a higher level. The prestige is just the average base hero, not including masteries of your top 5 champions. That prestige does not change based on masteries. Keep that in mind. Does not, unlike the rating. But if you're watching this video, for the most part, ignore PI, the rating, and the prestige is probably just not going to be relevant for you out in the game. Don't do prestige rank ups early in the game. It's going to delay your progress. Tip number 9 is you don't need to spend on this game to progress. People will say all the time, oh, only people who spend or wills can progress. That is not true. Yeah, I spent a little bit on this account, very little actually. My free-to-play and unit, I don't even use units. I use all the units to gift my main during gifting event in December. Hit Cavalier within a few weeks of playing, maybe a couple months within playing Uncollected, within a couple weeks with casual play, and can progress much quicker. There's a lot of players out there who have done very good without paying. You don't have to pay. If you do want to pay, be careful what offers you do. So this tip number 9, is about you don't have to pay to play to do good. Trust me, 100% you don't, and many players will show you that as long as you put in a little work and take some grind. It's going to take more time, absolutely, but the main thing I want to show you here is if you are going to buy some deals occasionally, that's fine. Don't make people guilt you, feel bad. That's how the game stays in business. It's not a non-profit, okay? This isn't a charity. They keep going through money. But look at these deals. These are not good deals right here. Wait, if you're going to pay, time them. Every once in a while they do some decent deals. The ones I normally would recommend if you're going to buy, the rare ones I will buy if I ever buy anything, which is very rarely, will be the ones when they add extra stuff onto the unit offers. The best ones are 4th of July. The 4th of July weekend, they always do big sales. They add on a bunch of extra stuff to the unit items. So you get the unit items plus some free things. It could be like maybe a 6-star Nexuses. It could be all kind of 6-star Sig. It could be a random different things. And also the Black Friday through Cyber Monday weekend is another time when they were add them on there too. So if you're looking at buying something, wait to one of those 2 weekends, and that is when you would buy those unit offers, when you get a lot of extra stuff, is what I recommend. Throughout the year, there might be a couple other times when they might do some decent sales, but I'm telling you, those 2 I just mentioned are by far the best. I recommend if you are going to spend, wait for them. Tip number 10 might sound silly, but honestly, in my opinion, it's one of the most important on here. Be careful. Be careful where you get your advice from, especially rank up advice. Be very careful. If you're on global asking for rank up advice, run away. You will get a couple of good inputs. You get a lot of troll. You get a lot of bad inputs. You get a lot of people who are simply just quoting what other people told them. I see constantly people are giving advice on champs they don't have. They admit to not having. They admit to not using, but somebody told them they are good. They don't know. Be careful. Don't take advice from somebody who's simply reciting what was shown, because they could be going off of a very subjective tier list based on different variables. They could have seen a highlight video in ideal circumstances, ideal synergies, ideal masteries that might not be realistic. So be careful where you get the advice from. I don't recommend getting advice from any random person in global. Maybe in forums could be a good area. You might get trolled some, but you get trolled in any area you ask for advice, honestly. Your alliance could be a good place too. As long as decent alliance, make sure you're asking, make sure you know if they have that champ or not. Before, do a little bit of research on champs. Be careful. Watch tutorials, watch videos on them, but also look for the situations. Make sure you're not watching highlighted videos of fully boosted, fuller synergy videos. People like to do them and to get the highlights, but there might not be ideal realistic situations that you won't be able to mimic them. So be careful, look into that. Your alliance could be a good place, like I said, for advice, but be careful. Your alliance might be trying to force you to rank up for defense, especially in early levels of the game, even middle, even end for the most part, unless you're super competitive. I highly discourage during rank ups for defensive purposes. Sure, somebody might be a great defensive champ now. Guess what? A counter's coming out probably next month or the month after that. They always release these top champs, and they release counters later to keep making money, keep it coming in kabam. So even though they're a great defensive champ now, they will not stay. People will figure out how to use them. Counters will come on out. So your alliance might try to get to you, but you're the one who's going to regret it later. Unless you're going to be a long time end all be all in that alliance and try to be competitive, then maybe, but be hesitant, because keep in mind, they are not going to get the same results. They might get 10 kills in war now. They're not going to get that same results in a month, 2, 3 months from now. They'll be getting slim to none. Keep that in mind. So be careful with all those. And with all that being said, I'm hoping you enjoyed these 10 tips for the newer, casual, beginner, novice player, designed to give you pieces of information, clear up confusion to get better at the game. I'm hoping you found this helpful. And a big thing too, a bonus extra tip is you want a good source while you're progressing. I make content for everybody. I try to help everybody. I'll even give you the honest, best information I can always. So bonus tip, subscribe to Mcoc, Al Bundy Rules. A subscribe little icon's going to come up on the top left in just a few seconds. Be sure to click on it. Turn those notifications on. Go through my playlist. Check my playlist. You can see champ tutorials, walkthroughs on content, tips and tricks, damage highlights, all kinds of things. I got a little something for everybody. So subscribe and it will help you progress. Watching videos, learn how to use champs is going to be a great way to continue to progress and get better in the